Welcome back. This is Kotow's Officer Basic Course, Lesson 6. For this episode, we are going to review the special attack of Ambush. There are 6 types of special purpose attacks, Ambush being one, the other types including Counterattack, Demonstration, Feint, Raid, and Spoiling Attack. We've previously covered Demonstration and Feint, as well as touched upon Spoiling Attack with our discussion on Disruption. As with other offensive actions, the 4 characteristics of surprise, concentration, tempo, and audacity are key to successfully executing an ambush. Per FM 3-90-1, which I'll be quoting from a lot in today's video, an ambush is an attack by fire or other destructive means from concealed positions on a moving or temporarily halted enemy. There are actually 3 forms of ambush, according to FM 3-90-1, but for our purposes here today, we are just going to deal with a point ambush, which is, quoting, in a point ambush, a unit deploys to attack a single kill zone. Furthermore, ambushes are characterized as hasty or deliberate, but take place along a continuum. The distinction being the level of planning that goes into it. Hasty is less planning, deliberate is more planning, so just thinking about how much time you have to plan the ambush. Quoting at length here from 3-90-1, a typical ambush is organized into 3 elements: the assault, support, and security. The assault element fires into the kill zone. Its goal is to destroy the enemy force. When used, the assault force attacks into and clears the kill zone and may be assigned additional tasks, which we don't have to worry about here, to be honest with you. The support element supports the assault element, hence the name, by firing into and around the kill zone, and it provides the ambush's primary killing power. The support element attempts to destroy the majority of enemy combat power before the assault element moves into the objective or kill zone. The security element isolates the kill zone, provides early warning of the arrival of any enemy relief force, and provides security for the assault and support elements. Now, before going any further, I'm going to show a visual representation of an ambush from the film We Were Soldiers. Pay attention to how the ambush is structured, who and what is targeted, and when, and the different stages of the ambush.
Vous voyez quelque chose? Rien, mon capitaine. Putain d'herbe. Putain de chaleur. Putain de pays. Prenez le rassemblement! À couvert! À couvert! Gardez votre position! Derrière! À volonté! De derrière!
So, in review, there are some things that I've taken note of. At the top of the ambush, it uses proper concealment to hide the presence of the PAVN troops and only attacks once the signal is given, that signal being the initial shot targeting the commander of the column. Then you hear all the other shots starting to go off. This is followed immediately by an attack against a bugler. Now, this is important because now both command and control have been eliminated, or at least severely degraded, in the form of the commander being taken down, as well as the instrument, the bugler, by which control of the formation is exercised. So, command and control, they usually link together, but they are, you can see here, 2 separate things. There you are, the method for control and the commander who actually gives that control. So, targeting either one is great, but if you can knock out both, it's much better. The front of the column, you can see, is also targeted pretty early on to prevent the withdrawal of the column from moving outside of the kill zone and keeping them stuck inside of it. In addition, although it takes a bit longer, the mounted crew-served automatic weapon system is also targeted, although it takes some time to do, and that leads to some higher casualties for the PAVN forces. Once the maximum fire has been achieved by the supporting element and the force in the kill zone is degraded, the assault force launches an attack through the kill zone to clear it of any remaining resistance. Now, in planning an ambush site, again, quoting here from 3-90-1, leaders identify at least 4 different locations: the ambush site, which is the overall site, the kill zone, security positions, and rally points. The kill zone is that part of an ambush site where fires are concentrated to isolate, fix, and destroy the enemy. The security positions are those locations, or even just assets and directions, really, or covers to secure the ambushing formation. Finally, the rally point is the location where the formation returns to once the ambush is completed. Now, point ambushes are usually broken down into either linear or L-shaped formations, although actually in the video we just watched it was actually 2 linear formations that were set up on both sides of a road, which can be devastating, but is difficult to pull off unless the terrain is very favorable to it, because it can lead, among other things, to a problem of fratricide. I mean, you're shooting, across the road, you're likely to hit your friendlies too if you're not careful, but it worked out for the PAVN in the video. But for our purposes here, we will stick with linear ambushes for this episode, but I may cover L-shaped in an additional video if there is interest in it, and if I see it performed in the field. Once more quoting, the linear ambush formation is effective in close terrain, which restricts the target's movement, and in open terrain where one flank is blocked by existing or reinforcing obstacles. Keep in mind for that piece when we take a look here at 9th Corps. Continuing, an advantage of the line formation is that it is relatively easy to control under all conditions of visibility. The keys to a successful ambush are surprise, coordinated fires, and control. Surprise allows the ambush force to seize control of the situation. If total surprise is not possible, it must be so nearly complete that the target does not expect the ambush until it is too late to react effectively. Thorough planning, preparation, and execution help achieve surprise. And no, yelling surprise does not make it a surprise, although it might help. You never know. The commander conducts a leader's reconnaissance with key personnel to confirm or modify the plan. This reconnaissance should be covert to remain undetected and preclude alerting the enemy. Control is most critical when the ambush unit is approaching the target. Leaders enforce camouflage, noise, and light discipline, or keep them from talking randomly in-game, really, for our purposes here. Fire discipline is a key part of any ambush. Soldiers withhold fire until the ambush commander gives the signal to initiate the ambush. That signal should be fire from the most deadly and reliable weapon in the ambush. Once initiated, the ambush unit delivers its fires at the maximum rate possible given the need for accuracy. Otherwise, the assault could be delayed, giving the target time to react and increasing the possibility of fratricide. Accurate fires help achieve surprise as well as destroy the target. When it is necessary to assault the target, the lifting or shifting of fires must be precise. The assault element does not conduct its assault until enemy fires or resistance has been negated or eliminated. Now, after all that, let's take a look at this in practice in war rights. Here we have 9th Corps under Captain Nolan preparing an ambush for I Corps as they advance towards a point of contention on a conquest map. He has selected his engagement area, as you can see. In addition, he is conducting his initial reconnaissance as a leader, as well as positioning an additional security element to keep an eye on a likely avenue of approach, which is not easily observable from the main line's location. Finally, the actual formation that's going to carry out this attack is in a position that is concealed from the enemy forces. You can see them below that little decline in the hill, and they are not visible. Fight, so he might be able to save a point. We'll see.
Get ready, boys. Get ready.
Church bayonets. Don't let them see your bayonet. Church bayonet.
Nolan then moves down to give direction to his formation ahead of the engagement, maintaining himself hidden as well as avoiding detection until he's brought I Corps into the engagement area. He then brings the formation forward once they have done so and engages with both his pistol, his main casualty-producing weapon, and the troops' rifles, at this stage acting as the support element. Also notice target selection. eliminating the enemy officer first, who in that single person has the highest casualty-producing weapon, the pistol, the commander, and the main method for control and coordination all in one. It's a hell of a package. He also wisely targets the individual lowering the flag, which can have a higher level impact given the game mode. Knocking out that officer was key. Very good target selection.
Go, 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 go,
Get off our boy.
go! Get the fuck out of here! You are not welcome here. You are not welcome.
Run away, bitch! Run away, bitch!
Then, relying on surprise and audacity and using the hole in the fence for rapid movement, Ninth Corps charges in, changing from the support to the assault element, which you can do in a linear formation. Given the surprise and loss of cohesion, despite I Corps still having a large amount of combat power left relative to Ninth Corps, they retreat without any significant resistance. Finally, without losing cohesion, the Ninth Corps elements break off the attack and return to the rally point, understanding that their mission is complete and returning to get reorganized rather than going chasing off into nothing. Good awareness by Nolan, though, to bring his unit up here, though, before heading straight back into the fight, so he might be able to save a point. We'll see.
Get ready, boys. Get ready.
Treasure bayonets. Don't let him see your bayonet. Treasure bayonet.
Knocking out that officer was key. Very good target selection.
Go, 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 go,
Get off our boy.
go! Get the fuck out of here! You are not welcome here. You are not welcome.
Run away, bitch!
So here we had a great example of an ambush, and you can see how Nolan was using the various principles, whether he was aware of it or not, for how an ambush, specifically a linear ambush, can be carried out. Now, ambushes take some work, but they can be highly effective, as you see, of an attack for those units that have mastered them, as Nolan and Ninth Corps showed in this vignette. But what do you all think? What are some examples of ambushes that you have seen in War of Rights? Let me know in the comments below. This is Kotow, and thanks for watching.